Hi, I'm Victor Costa from Universidade Federal de Santa Maria, and I'll present a paper on the multiple possible adaptive mechanisms of the continuous anti-colony optimization. I'll begin introducing the concept of adaptation in parameters and discussing the possibilities of adaptation in the anti-colony optimization for continuous domains algorithm. Then, I will present three proposed adaptive versions of this materialistic based on a simple evolutionary state estimator called the colony success rate. Finally, I will report and analyze the obtained results. The behaviors of most materialistics depends heavily on a set of parameters, and to understand adaptation in parameters, we must first distinguish parameter control from parameter tuning. In parameter tuning, we choose the values of our parameters using some other heuristic in the top of our algorithm. After we find a good set of parameters, we keep them fixed in future searches. While in control, we change the values of our parameters during the search tasks while the materialistic searching on some space. The control can be prescheduled when parameters are modified according only to the course of time, or adaptive, when parameters are modified based on some estimator of the search conditions. The anti-colony optimization for continuous domains was proposed by Socha and Dorigo as a continuous optimizer in the anti-colony optimization framework, which is based on the way that ants share information about the location of food sources. In this algorithm, all the knowledge accumulated about the search landscape is kept in an archive, which stores the most promising solutions found by the colony during the entire search. Since the ants themselves have no memory about the search history, at every iteration, each ant uses the solution archive to construct new solutions. This algorithm is controlled by 4 parameters, which we will talk about soon. Now let's discuss the construction of new solutions with some more detail. In this representation of the solution archive, we can see that each of the solutions is associated with a fitness value, and each of the positions in the archive is associated with a weight value. To build a new solution, one ant first selects a solution from the archive, and each of the variables of the solution will then define the center of a different Gaussian distribution. The variance of those Gaussian distributions is computed by looking at the entire archive. To build a new solution, this ant will then sample one value of each Gaussian for each of the variables in our dimensionality. A central concept here is that the weighted sum of those Gaussian distributions define a Gaussian kernel for each of the variables in our problem. The probabilities of selecting solutions from the archive as center depend exponentially on a parameter Q. If this parameter is high, then all the solutions have similar probabilities of being selected, favoring the exploration of the search space. But if this parameter is low, only the top-ranked solutions of the archive have a high probability of being selected, favoring exploitation of the search space. Yang and his colleagues split the solution archive into different niches to approach the multimodal optimization problem. In their algorithm, each of the niches has a different evolutionary state estimator and therefore a different parameter Q. The method by Omuran and Plakova assigns random variables to the parameters Q and Xi, and the adaptive mechanism determines the mean of Xi. This algorithm computes a population diversity measure, and then it attempts to impose a linear decay over this measure by modifying the mean of the parameter Q. The second parameter, Xi, is a multiplicative factor over the standard deviation of each of the Gaussians. In this way, it determines the dispersion of the solution construction. Because of this,
high values for the Xi parameter leads to exploration behaviors. In their method, Abdelbar and Salama use an array of 14 predefined values for the parameter Xi. Each of these values have different probabilities of being selected, and these probabilities depend on the past success of those values on finding good solutions. The size of the sheaf is also a parameter, Q. Beyond its influence in the weights omega, it also determines the complexity of each of the Gaussian kernels. Because a bigger sheaf allows us to store less promising solutions, a high value for this parameter leads to exploration behaviors. In the research, Liao and his colleagues have an achieve that grows with time. If this was the only mechanism, it would be characterized as pre-schedule control. But after a number of iterations with relatively low improvement of fitness, their achieve is resetted to original sizes, so it is adaptive parameter control. The last parameter is the number of ants in the colony. For fixed budgets of time or of number of function evaluations, this parameter determines how the algorithms use this budget. For a big colony, at each iteration, a number of ants will generate solutions in parallel before the achieve is updated to discard the less promising solutions. So we reason that a big colony will favor the exploration behavior, and we also identify that the adoption of this parameter is an open topic. Here we borrow the idea of success rate as an evolutionary state estimator. Our version, the colony success rate, considers that an ant succeeds if it can generate a solution that has a better fitness than the solution it used at the center. And the success rate is the percentage of ants in the colony that achieve success. A high success rate indicates that the solutions selected at the center are probably closer to local minima than to global minima regions, because in the first case it would be easier for the ants to improve over them. Using this estimator, we define three adaptive versions of the ant colony optimization for continuous domains. The adaptive elitism level maps the colony success rate to values of Q, while the adaptive generation dispersion maps 1 minus the success rate to values of Xi, and the last algorithm combines the adaptation of both AEL and AGD. Notice that we didn't define which functions will be used to map the values of estimators to the values of parameters, because they are chosen empirically. Here in this table, we can see the three functions we tested as maps, the linear, exponential, and sigmoid functions, along with their expressions and the definition of their constants. And their constants are defined according to the desired maximum and minimum values of a given parameter. To have a broader view about the performance of the proposed algorithms, we include implementations of adaptive mechanisms of the particle swarm optimization and simulated annealing meteoristics. Particle swarm optimization is a population-based meteoristic initially proposed by Kennedy and Eberhard, and one of its possible parameters, the inertial weight, influences the search locality and also alleviates some problems with local optima trapping. The adaptive inertial weight particle swarm optimization also uses a version of the success rate as a search condition estimator and maps it linearly to the values of the inertial weight. Simulated annealing was initially proposed by Kirkpatrick and his colleagues for combinatorial optimization, and it uses a single solution which is modified one variable at a time using some perturbation. In adaptive crystallization factor simulated annealing, the perturbation follows a Bates distribution and its dispersion is adapted according to positive and negative feedback rules. In our experimental setting, we split benchmark functions for continuous optimization into train and test sets. The train set is used to choose maps for the parameters Q and Xi, while the test set is used to evaluate the proposed algorithms against other meteoristics. To account for the stochastic behavior of meteoristics, each experiment was repeated 100 times, and we report the resultant statistics, and if someone's interested, all our code and data is available at GitHub. The parameters shown here for each meteoristic were not tuned for this task. Most of the adaptive meteoristics explicitly define the range of their parameters, and those were taken from the literature. There are 4 train instances and 6 test instances. Here we can see representations of those functions using 2-dimensional domains, but in our experiments, most of these instances have 3-dimensional domains. By comparing average costs on the train set for a fixed budget of 5,000 function evaluations, we can see that for both AAL and HGD, the nonlinear maps prevail over the linear one. For each of the parameters, we use the map that has more victories. Nevertheless, we can see that the differences between the exponential and sigmoid maps for most of the instances is insignificant. When we consider the test instances with a maximum budget of 100,000 function evaluations, we can see that the optimization of instances 6 and 10 looks almost trivial because all algorithms apart from the adaptive simulated annealing were able to reach perfect convergence. With respect to instance 5, the ADD anti-colony optimization and B-adaptive anti-colony optimization were able to reach perfect convergence while the basic anti-colony optimization could not. For the remaining instances, the adaptive generation dispersion and B-adaptive algorithms always reach lower costs than the continuous anti-colony optimization algorithm. And the adaptive elitism level anti-colony optimization has only a worse cost than the basic algorithm in instance number 8. Here we can see that the algorithms that adapt parameter Xi or parameters Q and Xi have lower standard deviations of costs when compared to the basic anti-colony optimization for continuous domains, and this is an evidence of the robustness of those algorithms. The statistical significances of victories and defeats of the proposed meteoristics against the Bayes algorithm were extracted using the Wilcoxon signed rank test for paired data, and here we report the resulting p-values. If we consider the common confidence threshold of 95%, we can see that only in the B-adaptive algorithm, when we adapt both Xi and Q parameters, we can reach victories with statistical significance, for instance 7 and 9. In this way, we can see that only the B-adaptive algorithm can be superior to the anti-colony optimization for continuous domains, while the other algorithms that adapt only a single parameter are not significantly better in any of the instances. This shows the advantages of adapting multiple parameters simultaneously, which was done for the first time with the anti-colony optimization for continuous domains algorithm in this research. Thank you for your attention.